In 2020, Grand Seiko debuted the T0 Constant Force Tourbillon Movement, a concept caliber that, at the time, was a total tease for collectors of the brand worldwide. While many were begging Grand Seiko to realize it in a production watch as is, the reality was that Grand Seiko felt the work was not completely done. Grand Seiko's grammar of design dictates the boxes all production watches must tick, and the T0 didn't pass the bar in its current form. This left Grand Seiko fans wondering when the brand's first high complication would make its debut. So, when the Grand Seiko SLGT-003 Kodo made its debut at Watches and Wonders, it was definitely a drop-the-mic moment. A complete show stealer all in attendance were lusting over. As one would expect from Grand Seiko, the case geometry and Zaratsu finishing was impeccable. But a huge surprise was the fact that its 43.8mm diameter case, 12.9mm thick, and a very reasonable 50.6mm lug-to-lug across the wrist, was made of both 950 platinum and Grand Seiko's brilliant hard titanium. To pair the heaviest metal with the lightest seems absolutely insane, but it is actually highly strategic in this execution. The outer case is the portion made of brilliant hard titanium, taking on the brunt of shock and wear generated while worn. The inner case, made of 950 platinum, is therefore protected by the titanium. Its style lets the wearer admire the in-house 9ST1 caliber in full view. Its overhauled aesthetic, well worth the 2-year wait. The production caliber had over 90% of the components changed compared to the Concept T0, and the result was a stunning display of Grand Seiko pillars, light, and shadow. But it also added a welcome new third dimension of space, the depth of the openwork caliber, a sight to behold. The usual razor-sharp Dauphine hours and minutes hands have been scaled down for the subdial at 12 o'clock, replacing the funky blue hands found on the T0. The beautiful diamond-cut indices surround the two hands, affixed to an open circular chapter ring that also serves as the outer minutes track. Even the power reserve indicator, just below the 9 o'clock side of the case, utilizes a small razor-sharp hand, and at the 6 o'clock position, you will find the star of the show, the Constant Force Tourbillon mechanism. Kodo translates to heartbeat, a fitting name for a watch with a Constant Force Tourbillon mechanism. The outer tourbillon carriage rotating step by step like a heartbeat, rotating in 60 increments once per second. In fact, Grand Seiko attributes the Kodo nomenclature to the musicality of the mechanism, the audible heartbeat similar to that of a musical 16th note. This stepping outer carriage also serves as the running seconds indication for the Kodo, a jewel embedded into one of the spider-like arms to point towards the outer seconds ring. The inner carriage of the tourbillon rotates the escapement more fluidly, at a more common beat rate of 8 beats per second, also known as 28,800 vibrations per hour. Obviously, the 9ST1 is a highly technical caliber, but it's also beautifully embellished. Its darkened components satinated with very well chamfered edges. And, in an unusual form for Grand Seiko, the back of the caliber features circular striping, which is not what we typically see from the Tokyo stripes we often see on their calibers. The manually wound movement boasts 50 hours of power reserve and is regulated to the Grand Seiko standard of +5, -3 seconds per day. But Grand Seiko has gone a step further in their testing, ensuring it meets the standard in 6 positions, 3 temperatures, and across 48 hours, rather than fully winding it every 24, which is a common industry standard. So, what is the significance of having the tourbillon and constant force mechanism on a single axis? Well, aside from being the first watch manufacturer to achieve this, because there are no components between the tourbillon and constant force mechanism, there is no change to the torque transmitted from the constant force mechanism to the balance wheel. This allows the caliber to have its 50 hours of power reserve and a more stable balance amplitude. The Kodo is outfitted on a very special black leather strap, painted by hand with multiple layers of Urushi lacquer and secured to the wrist via a platinum deployant clasp. The watch also comes with an alternative crocodile strap with crocodile leather on both sides to maximize resistance against moisture. But if you are lucky enough to score one of the 20 pieces that comprise this limited edition, I would recommend finding a suitable 22mm width rubber strap for the watch as well. Why? Grand Seiko equally concerns themselves with robustness as they do with aesthetics. Therefore, their first entry into a Grand complication has an 100-meter depth rating. Yep, you heard me right. The Kodo is more than equipped to go for a swim. And it has drilled lugs, so it'll be very easy for your watchmaker to change the strap. The Grand Seiko Kodo is a limited edition of 20 pieces, priced at $350,000 US. While the watch is the most expensive reference in the catalog by a six-figure margin, it is clear that the question is not if they will sell out. It is whether or not you will be the lucky one who receives an allocation. Thank you for watching, and be sure to subscribe to the Time and Tide channel for all the latest watch reviews and content.